Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Ammar Elm, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are absolutely thrilled to be joined by Joe Olive, founder and CEO of Engine for Impact, an operational strategist and business coach dedicated to helping fitness coaches and online entrepreneurs scale through systems, automation, and strong team leadership. Joe's background spans construction consulting, tech integration, and sales, all fueling his mission to help clients turn passion into high-performance business growth. Joe, welcome.
Sounds about right. Thank you for having me.
Okay.
I'm glad to be here. Sounds better when you say it, though, than when I try to say
A little bit, yeah. It's a little bit more modest and humble if somebody else says it. But cool, man. I'm excited to dive in. I always like to start from the beginning. So take me back to before you started Engine for Impact. What were you
Okay.
doing beforehand? And then what really motivated you to start the company?
All right. Try to keep this short and sweet, but it is a bit of a story. I guess the real spark in all this, I was 100 pounds overweight. COVID came around, had some chest pains in May 2020. Scary time to go to the doctor, but I went anyway, and they did some tests. Said blood pressure, blood sugar was all through the roof, off the charts. You're the guy that we're talking about on the news that we say don't catch COVID, you'll die. Talk about a wake-up call. So for 2 years, I tried really hard to lose weight without getting guidance. About 40 pounds. I was moving in the right direction, but I wasn't locking it up the way I could. So I got pitched by an online coaching team because I started following some of them and was trying to incorporate it myself. They got me on board and changed my life.
Mm,
I lost that other weight, but really learned a lot over the next year in regard to the nutrition and the actual programming. And it's not just work out and eat better, the real knowledge. It was like fitness and nutrition university. So fell in love with the whole process, the community, the online coaching space, and COVID screwed up my New York City construction developer consulting firm. Turns out when they stop building buildings for 9 months and you have 15 projects and your revenue is millions, it goes to zero. We had 15 employees that we had to keep on board because we didn't want to let them get hung out to dry. So my father and I partners 50-50 on that. We couldn't carry two executive salaries and continue to pay everybody, and it was rough. So I mentioned it to the coaching team. I said, I'm not gonna be able to continue. It was a high ticket program. And they said, what's up? And I told them, and they were like, we're actually thinking of adding someone to the sales and marketing side of things as a closer and that sort of thing. Would you be interested in, we think you'd be good at it. I
mm.
said, yeah, definitely something. I love this. I'm passionate about it. So I dove in with those guys, was involved in selling 500,000 for them in 9 months. Very well-known company. They do really well. Great coaching team, great staff, and helped redesign some of the scripting on the DM setting, on the closing side. Fell in love with that whole side of things too. So after time, year or so doing that, now a couple years, few years involved in the whole process of the online coaching on both sides as a client and as somebody working on the sales side. I said, all right, I think I'm going to move on and try to help other coaches do the same thing. And that's how this was all born.
Yes.
So saw some gaps in the market when it came to the old ways. I'm big on AI, but not free chat GPT copy paste, like custom built AI systems that do the thinking and you build the brains and everything that people are starting to get more aware of as time goes on here. And
Interesting. Oh, sorry,
yeah,
keep going.
if you have a question about it, we can dive in. I'm
Yeah, no,
almost
I definitely want to get into that. So, first off, thank you so much for sharing that. And for the people that are just listening, you look freaking phenomenal right now. You look crisp, man. Congrats on losing the weight and going through all that journey, because that's a huge challenge in and of itself. And obviously you invested into yourself to do that, and you saw the power and the impact that you can have on other people's lives through helping them build their coaching businesses, bringing on clients, etc. I love that. Now, the majority of the listeners are coaches and consultants, so I think this conversation is going to be very applicable to them. I am curious, like with your ICP, do you mainly work with fitness coaches, or are there any types of coaches that you work with? Walk me through that a little bit more.
Fitness mainly, health and wellness. I've worked with a breathwork coach, ADHD, wellness coach, a few other outliers, but not outside of the health and wellness and fitness space because the processes and systems I put into play really fit that space. Could be adapted outside, but as we know, niching down until you're ready to expand is the ideal approach. It's just the targeting in everything that you're doing, the messaging in your content, ads, my automation targeting, all is based on being able to find the person you're trying to speak to. It makes sense to stay in this realm for now and expand as we grow.
100%. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Now, talk to me a little bit more about the core offering and what that looks like. And I'm also super curious where the custom AI built solutions come into that as well.
Sure. So it all started out in the beginning. I just wanted to be able to help people messy action. So over a year ago, I just started. I just went, started telling people I can help you, and really aimed for the one-on-one with the group edition, the hybrid that a lot of the models, the best models have, scalable. And then it came to me that the ad model is broken at this point in ways, in certain ways for newer coaches, because newer coaches don't have the content muscle for them to be able to make effective ads or have their profile back up the ads. So I saw the ad marketing space pitching to newer coaches, but not filling in their offer structure, their ideal client avatar, their actual content quality. And that was a big gap, I felt. So I started aiming towards helping those people. I help people at all the levels, but that's what really opened my eyes to that. What they say, you find a gap or a need and you fill it. And that's how you get successful. So I started developing AI systems that could target leads and help them with content and DM scripting because the templates and scripts of the past are dying and they are one size fits all. If you look at the I'm looking for five guys ad, everybody and their cousin ran it into the
Yeah,
ground and it's
you
now
have
no longer a pattern interrupt, it's the pattern.
100%. You have to evolve.
That's where building the custom AI for the content brainstorming, where we put in their ideal client avatar, deep research, all the myths, misconceptions, hurdle struggles, frustrations, all the pain points. Because a lot of coaches that are just starting out with content make content based on what they think people want to hear. Oh, here's a workout to burn that belly fat or whatever it is. But if they're aiming for beginners, the beginners aren't even in the gym. So they don't care about them.
Yeah.
They want to hear how they can eat one meal better or how you can substitute ice cream for Greek yogurt and still not sacrifice taste and flavor.
Yeah.
Those are the pain points. Those are the things that leave the breadcrumbs to get people to care about that gym content. Having the custom AI that can be programmed with your voice using stuff you've written or said that sounds more like you, having the 10 to 20 pages of ideal client avatar deep research, hook strategies, frameworks, secondary hooks, calls to action, length, visual cues, text overlays, all the concepts that are working now, not the stuff that worked a year ago. And then when you use the AI to brainstorm, it has 100 pages of information. It's not just picking the lowest hanging fruit. That's why I was making fun of free chat GPT. It's
Yeah.
designed to pick the lowest hanging fruit and it gives everybody the generic same answers. That's why a lot of people's content is starting to sound the same.
Yeah.
They're all using the same prompts.
For
So
sure. And super
yeah,
robotic.
yeah.
Okay, so is the main offer about the custom AI, or is there any other thing that you do on top of that? Is it 90 days? Is it 4 months? What does that look like?
6 months is the main flagship approach. In my opinion, that's enough time to get the kinks out in the first 2 to 3 months. and then iron out the data and make adjustments and whatnot and start planning out the scaling process, which is the hiring. So that kind of leads into what you asked about. It's a full mentorship. There's stages and there's custom AIs at each stage. And there's lead generation AI and there's DM script AI because copy paste scripts are dying too. People are used to seeing it. They know what question's coming next. Sales resistance goes through the roof. So we have to adapt and create systems that evolve or
Mhm.
are able to be future proofed. And if you're custom programming the brains and knowledge bases of AI, it's very easy to switch it out with documents now. Just
Yeah.
giving it new documents, taking out the old ones versus having to rewrite entire templates.
Mm,
And it doesn't think.
yeah. That's huge.
Yeah,
Very interesting and very, I don't know if revolutionary is the right word, but I can't think of another
take
word.
it. I'll
Yeah.
take it.
I'd love to shift a little bit to the back end of the business. Like when you are looking to generate leads and acquire more customers, what do you do there? What channels do you leverage? Walk me through that.
So Instagram and Facebook, I like the metaverse. I do like the metaverse. It's connected. Obviously, we all know you can post the content on both, but you tend to hit slightly different demos as people usually pick one as their favorite and kind of stick with it. Coaching wise, I think Instagram has been more responsive as of late for the age range of 25 to 45. Just seems to be have it's picked up in
Hmm.
regard to response rate. Just people are more interactive. I think it's because we graduated from Facebook and Instagram is what Facebook used to be before it got all messy and added about 37 tabs.
Yeah.
Pictures, videos, profiles, and messages.
Yeah.
Simplicity. Yeah, so Instagram tends to be the most responsive. As far as lead generation, I'm not ashamed to say scrape competitors' followers and create lead lists and sort them with AI and then have an AI do the growth of the automation that I can't say every detail because the meta gods don't love all of it, but they only have their partnership with ManyChat, so that's the one they push and they try to get everybody else not using any sort of automation. But there's ways to have human-like delays, human-like pauses, and have it work in your Chrome browser so that it's not looking like a bot, it's looking like a person
Mhm.
and working through the lead lists that have been filtered and sorted to be real people and start conversations, follow, comment, and do things that would be the manual grind of the OG coaching days, where
Mhm.
they'd send setters out to click around and get eyes on your profile by showing up in notifications. And that's a good base coat before the ads.
Yeah.
Build the content, generate eyes, don't depend on the algorithm, don't depend on paid flow, build the base code and foundational bricks so that the rest of it has a solid base to
Yeah.
build on instead of just trying to throw ads out against the wall and see what sticks when your content isn't that great. Content's not that great. The algorithm's not going to pick it up until it's better. So trying to cut out the delay of growth and the guessing game and the trial and error by creating these custom systems that just do the manual stuff that's not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily have to be human to start
Yeah.
little clicks and stuff and the brainstorming of the content, all that too.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. And I completely agree. I think when you have an organic content engine and you're running paid, it feeds very well with each other. If you look at different niches and the ones that absolutely crush it across the board, they have both. They have the organic flywheel going, and then a lot of them leverage YouTube heavily on top of all of the other platforms. And then paid ads just brings in that predictability and consistency with lead flow. And as organic comes in, it's cherry on top. Do you run any paid ads right now or no?
I do. I just started doing it again.
Nice.
It I came up with an idea that I thought was funny. The one I'm running right now is the Bigfoot vlog, the AI generated Bigfoot vlogs that went viral. Have you seen those
Oh,
before?
I haven't, no.
Oh wow. I thought everybody saw those, but it's Bigfoot making jokes and yeah, so I made a couple AI videos of that. And I'm recording some new ones of me. I took a break from it because the organic and automation was working so well that I was using my time in the revenue generating activities that we're working in the moment. And I tell my clients the same thing is don't spread yourself too thin trying to do too many things outside of the core until the core is set up, and then you stack funnels. You funnel
Mm,
stack. Some people do the old, oh, I'm going to try to post on every platform all the time, and I'm going to try to run ads on every platform all the time, and then they don't do one thing well.
yeah, yeah. I completely agree with that. With your paid ads, what is the call to action? What does that funnel look like? Is it just a straight book a call funnel, applications? What do you do there?
I've been running the directed DMs, and I don't know what happened with Meta, but I'm getting a lot of misclicks this time around. A lot of people that are clicking by accident that aren't ideal client avatars. So I might have to adjust it to the type form questionnaire qualifying and booking it, which can slap that together in a couple hours. So,
Yeah, it's pretty
and
simple.
it takes us a couple of adjustments. Yeah. And again, it's all testing, it's all data, all this stuff. We know what works for other people. We know the options we have. And even for my clients, something could work for one client and for some reason not work for the other one. So being able to understand the data and adapt is key.
Yeah, 100%. When it comes to your sales process, do you have closers in place? Do you have setters in place? What does that look like?
Yeah, I've got setters. I've got a closer that is a great closer that was is a still in the team on the team as a client. So I helped coach him up. He already had some really solid sales skills. So when it was time to hire and expand, I said, you know what? Let me ask Sam because I feel like he wouldn't mind taking a handful of calls a week. And he was like, hell yeah. He was like, I'm in. So I
Nice.
got lucky there, especially somebody coming through the process. I think when you do stuff like this, having someone that's understood it and benefited from it is probably the ideal situation than to try to bring somebody in that's just seeing it for the first time. And got three setters,
Nice.
VA, two setters. And then I still take sales calls because I'm not at 100K a month yet where I don't have the time. And not that I'm doing terribly, but I still have the time slots available. And I think sometimes people want to talk to you and feel bait and switched with some of the closer system, especially the beginners. The beginners that don't understand the processes yet, don't get it. They feel like, oh, this is a bait and switch. I've heard people say that many a time and figure until I'm totally tapped out on time, I could still take a handful of them myself. So
Yeah, fair enough. I respect that. Yeah, I love the fact that you got an ex-client to become a closer because it's very difficult to teach conviction to somebody who hasn't already been there. And when somebody believes in the program, they close so much more than the person with all the sales skills in the world, but they don't like have 100% conviction in their ability. That's why like you find when closers start out a new role, they crush it right off the bat because they have 100% conviction. Then maybe somebody refunds or something happens or blah, 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 and then the conviction slowly diminishes. But if they've been through that themselves, it's so much better. So
yeah,
that's,
I got
yeah,
lucky. I
fair
definitely got
enough.
lucky.
I'm curious for you now, when you think of the future and you think of your next 12 months, what's the vision? What's the goal? What are you aiming towards? Whether it's revenue, whether it's otherwise, walk me through that.
I, I maybe when it comes to this question, I never answer it the way people want me to, but maybe people get insight into how my mind works as far as this concept. I think that putting a number on your growth, if you ever heard of the Infinite Game, sure you probably have, right? The book.
Oh, yep. Yeah, yeah.
So when you put hey, if I just get to this, everything will be fine, or if I just get to this, I've made it, creates a finite mindset, like a fixed mindset versus a growth
Yeah.
mindset. It's a fixed growth, finite, infinite.
From mindset, yeah.
So if
There's
I'm sitting here saying, oh, if my goal is 75K, 100K a month, if I get there, then am I good? Did I win? Did I tap out? Did I win the game of life? Whereas I'm more looking at the overall journey. Did I grow this month? Am I projected to grow significantly next month? Am I projected to need more staff because I'm growing? That's how I'm measuring things.
mm,
Like if it's incrementally exponentially scaling, and
Yeah.
I have more problems happening because I have more things in the works and more gears turning. That's why I called my company Engine for Impact, because all of this is an engine. Fitness, business,
Mm,
all the different pieces have to work together to get
yeah,
anywhere. Uh,
100%.
so to me, the growth measuring stick is if it's consistently happening at the rate I'm looking for
Got it.
versus a fixed number.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Can I share a perspective that was helpful for me? So I heard this guy, I think it was on a YouTube video years ago, say the mark of an intelligent individual. I don't like when he says when he said intelligent, so I'll change it to the mark of a wise individual is the ability to hold two seemingly contradictory thoughts in their mind and be able to understand which situation calls for which. So I love what you're saying of if you hit that number, do you win the game of life? Is that what happiness is? Do I need to delay my internal sense of joy and fulfillment before I get to that number? To me, that's like the Eastern philosophy, Buddhism, desire is the root of all suffering kind of thing. So eliminate all desires and you eliminate all suffering, hypothetically. Like the power of now, Eckhart Tolle, all of that stuff, right? I love that stuff and I'm a big fan of it. On the other end of the spectrum for me, like I'm still ambitious. I still have goals. I still want to grow. I still want to, but it was helpful for me to hear that. Whereas, sure, those are two seemingly contradictory thoughts of I don't need anything in this world to be happy, but I also have goals and ambitions that I'm striving towards. And I feel like you understand what I'm talking about in terms of being able to understand both of those and to look at the context of what situation I'm in and what route do I need to hold at the forefront of my mind and what emotions I need to bring up as a result of that, if that makes sense. I don't know if that made sense at all, but
Loved it. I loved it because I got into the Eastern philosophies years ago, right as I was getting to the fitness kind of perfect storm.
yeah.
Mindset's like that engine. The mindset, the discipline all comes from somewhere else in order for me to have done the fitness. So I loved that a lot and I appreciate it. So yeah, let's say 100K would be the next. Like I'll feed the beast, brother. I'll feed the beast. Let's
Yeah, it's all
say
good, man. I like what you're saying a lot, man. And I honestly, it seems contradictory, but I feel like when you have that detachment to when you set a goal, but then you also detach yourself from the outcome. And for me, it was detachment from the outcome and falling in love with the process, as cliche as it sounds, of Tony Robbins' idea of progress is happiness. It's exactly what you were saying. As long as I'm progressing, as long as I'm growing at the scale that I want, then, I'm happy. And even if I'm like for me, even if I'm not, bro, we woke up this morning. We're breathing. We're healthy. So it's now we're getting into a deep philosophical conversation.
but I agree with you because I some days I'll work 12, 15, 16 hours and not because I have to, but they say you do something you love and you never work a day in your life. Like I don't like getting up from this seat. I go to the gym, I walk, I do that stuff. I just love being here. I built this studio in my daughter's old bedroom, which was a pretty sweet little bonus prize. Is she wanted the bigger bedroom. And I was like, what am I going to do with that? I know. I got to build a studio here.
Nice.
But I get to walk in every day and turn on these lights. And that whole side has like a whole second section that's soundproofed,
Yeah.
staged, and whatnot. And my content and stuff, you can see that side. So I get excited to come here, sit down, turn on the three screens, and have a different problem on each screen that I'm trying to solve, or a different data set and a different planning process. And it's so crazy that if you told me 10 years ago that this is what I'd be excited to do every day, bang my head against the wall trying to solve other people's problems, I tell you were crazy. But we all grow and figure things out a little bit differently at different paces. And that Eastern philosophy stuff definitely helped me. Finding out I was ADHD and getting meds definitely didn't hurt the process though, because I actually can focus for extended periods of time now. Yeah, man, it's great. I love all this, and I'm passionate about helping coaches help people.
Boom. I love that. I want to be respectful of your time. I know we're running tight. Two more questions for you.
Sure.
What is Rev XL?
Revenue Accelerator. I clicked
Mm,
on it. So it's Revenue Accelerator. So instead of accelerator, it's excelling the acceleration.
nice. I like that. And what is the best way for people to reach out to you to work with you?
So at Joe Olive Impact on Instagram would be the best place to go. That's where it's my main account, probably the most volume of content, get an idea of what I'm doing, what I'm saying besides this short burst, and just shoot me a DM. There's a link there for call booking if you want to go direct to that. Either way works for me, but that's definitely where you can get to know me and peruse the most stuff.
Awesome. Joe, thank you so much for your time.
No problem, brother.
Yeah. So that wraps up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, follow Joe on IG at Joe Olive Impact, Joe Olive Impact, spelled how it sounds. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with our team and discover how we were able to go from zero to $30 million per year in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on climbing.